Three, two, one. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you so much for showing your support, for showing the love. I have currently the possibility to go mad because these systems really messed me up, but it is my fault. I apologize because I thought the system's still working fine, but it seems it doesn't. But at least now you guys should hear me. Let me open that up a little bit because we have something to celebrate. Yeah. All right, and now let me check. Because these systems. All right, yeah, but the mic is not, it's not the proper mic. Let me see. It's this one. Friends, I apologize. It's really messed me up. Because I can hear it's not the proper mic, so let me make a proper mic check. I thoroughly apologize. I'm wasting your time here. 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. See, kettlebell training teaches you exactly this. Now, it's more things in life that teaches you this. It teaches you to be calm under pressure. And you know what's funny? I ask God all the time to give me a chance to improve my character. And let me see if it now works. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the mic. All right. So I ask God every day to give me the chance to improve myself. Give me the chance to hone my character. Give me the chance to become a better human being. And every time he does this, he throws something into my way that really annoys me and gets on my nerves. So please retype your questions in the chat, folks. I thoroughly apologize once again for wasting your time, but now let's make the most out of it. So first of all, I appreciate every one of you showing up. It's awesome. And what I just did, why did I have this thing messed up? I didn't properly prepare because I thought the system's running fair and well. The last live stream was like a month ago. I thought the system's still well, but sometimes, I know 90% of the time it is the person that is working the system that is most of the time where the mistakes happen, right? But sometimes it messes up. And then I downloaded, what's it called? That really gets on my nerve. It's called what do they call it? The new Apple, who cares? Sonora, I don't know. And so we have additional TVs here for the online coaching, and everything completely has blown apart. It takes me to, I don't know where. So I was trying to somehow manage and mitigate this. Oh, and I got really mad. I think some of you caught it. And now, I'm cooling down. And in order to cool down, how about we do this, my friends? How about we do this? This is important. Jason already told you this is important. Check this out.
Stravo, my name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebe. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
All right, so we are back. So thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate every one of you showing up, investing your precious time into the stream, and I want to make it worth your while. Now, before we jump into the questions, we have to celebrate one thing, and that is 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Boom! How powerful is that? I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart that 100,000 people decided to join and to subscribe and to like and do all sorts of stuff on a YouTube channel. I truly appreciate it. It shows, 8 years ago when I started, I told myself, one day I want to have that silver play button, right? Sometimes people tell you, yo, you got to think big, you got to think for the gold button. No. I think in phases. So now what's happening, let me introduce you what's happening now. It's funny. It takes a couple of weeks for YouTube or Google to notice that I have cracked the 100K, and then I get a special invitation from Google or from YouTube, where then it forwards me to a website where I have to design my plaque. So you get the silver play button, right? And then I can say what's on that button, the name that should appear, and then it takes like 3 to 4 weeks until it arrives. And of course, we're gonna do a little short when it arrives. I'm really looking forward. So by now, I think the questions have already rolled in. And here's the thing, friends. We have currently we now open up the Kettlebell Dojo. Now, what is the Kettlebell Dojo? You see this right here. It says save 50% if you join now. I want to share what the dojo is, and then I'm gonna jump into your questions, my friends. So to give you a little bit of backstory about the dojo, Sam Ovens in 2019 came up with a new social media idea that's called school.com. And a couple of years later, Alex Hormozy, which I believe some of you are familiar with, invested into School. So that prompted me to do some research about School and check it out. So what School actually is, it is an isolated and autonomous Facebook group. You have to imagine. What's the beautiful thing about Facebook group? The interaction. We gather for only one idea. In our case, it's kettlebells. But the bad thing is the doom scrolling, the ads, the political crap, the stuff that just Facebook throws into your face, which you don't want to be concerned about. And many of you probably, I'm assuming, don't have Facebook. Rightfully so. It's one of the most chaotic platforms. And you see that they're so big that they don't have to change anything because that thing just keeps rolling. They're too big to fail to a certain extent, right? Too big to fail. So with School, here we have an idea where we only have one community. So you download the app, you enter that community, and the only thing that you see is that particular community. And I want to introduce it to you because the first 100 members can get started for only $5 a month. And then it goes up to $9 a month, and then maybe even higher depending on how much interaction and how wanted it is. And so let me go share my screen for a second, and then I'm going to show you what it really is. It is so powerful. So you should see my screen now. And this is the Kettlebell Dojo. And look at this. It's actually saying, wow, how awesome that is. We are live. It even communicates with the dojo. How awesome with the community. So watch what this is. This is the platform of the Kettlebell Dojo from school.com. And in here, we gather because we are open-minded kettlebell practitioners, enthusiasts, and trainers. So I also want to get trainers in here who celebrate the kettlebell for what it is, and passionate practitioners. And as you can see, we are already at 50 members because we just opened up to the waiting list, which had close to 300 people on. And after 100 members, the price goes up. So if you want to join now, ASAP. So what is it? Let me show you. I give you a quick overview, and then I jump into the question. So this is the general community where you can post stuff. This is something that you're used to from social media, right? So when you post something, I can pin it. You see it's already going down. It's already happening. Lots of interaction. So it's all about kettlebells, and it's called the dojo. Why is it the dojo? Because, watch this, there is a leaderboard. You have 9 levels to unlock in the Kettlebell Dojo. And if you unlock these levels, here's what's happening. You have to post something. We like your post. We comment on it. And this rewards you with points. And the more points you get, the more levels you unlock, which means the more belts you unlock. Because 9 levels conveniently work well with 9 belts. And we know that kettlebells are somehow enigmatically drawn to martial artists. And there isn't a belt system yet with kettlebells. So I created one. That's why I call it the Kettlebell Dojo. You start as a white belt and then you finish as a black belt. So how do we actually do this? So this is the leaderboard. You can see, wow, Hinek he's number one. Then we have Gary, then we have Tati, and so many people already joined. And this is the gamification process, which makes this thing so interesting. Then we have the calendar feature, which means every time we have an interesting event going on, I share it with the community, and then it's pinned over here. As you can see, we are live as we are currently on YouTube. And here's the beautiful thing. This is the classroom. So every time you unlock a new belt, you have access to a new course, which is a new belt test. And the belt test works like this. So in our case, the white belt test is 10 hand-to-hand swing, 4 clean and press, 8 snatch, and 4 goblet squat in an unbroken fashion. You can do this, follow it to a T, where you follow us in the follow along section. And then you have to post it in the belt test category. As you can see, people are already posting their belt tests. And the cool thing about it is it's always the same exercises. So you become very, very well versed with the exercises. It takes you to a point where you really want to master these exercises to the T, and then the next belt has more reps. It becomes more intense, so that belt tests increase in the level of difficulty. And since we all have one common goal, and that is to become black belts, we're all constantly working on refining our technique, and we can share this with each other. So this is a powerful and interesting concept and idea that I'm trying out for the next couple of months and see where it takes us. It's just an idea currently, so if you want to join, you'll find the first link in the description for only $5 a month, right? So interesting stuff that we got going on. This is the Kettlebell Dojo. So, all right, let's jump back to the questions, and I'm here to answer them. All right, let's see what's going on, because you want your questions answered, and I'm all here for it. So let's pull them up. Let me see what's going on. All right, 58 people in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. This is awesome. All right, let's see. Jason, what do we have? Did we lose the questions, Jason? Yes, we lost them, unfortunately. Yeah. We have voice. Love it. Yay, there he is. That's Mac for you. Andrew, you know, normally that thing works, but it's... But maybe this time I'm able to catch up with the questions, right? Maybe this time you guys don't have to wait for that long to get your questions answered. All right, here we got one. All right, somebody already joined. Let me turn that thing off because it distracts me. I want to stay focused. All right. Question. Is it normal when I move up? I saw that question, Real Rain, before, so glad that you reposted it. Question. Is it normal, Real Rain 89, is it normal when I move up in kettlebell weights to have to start from swings and build up the snatches again? Huh. Can you clarify your question a little bit? Because from what I'm gathering, you think, all right, let's say I'm snatching with a 16 kg and now I snatch with a 20 kg, and now you think, oh, I have to swing again. Let me answer that question for you in 2 ways. First of all, it's interesting that you're mentioning the snatch. First of all, it's all about technique. Understanding that technique is key when it comes to the snatch means 2 things. Once you have mastered technique and it doesn't bother you, and what does that mean in the snatch? Technique in the snatch means your arms don't burn out. You don't use your arms to pull. You use your legs to drive the kettlebell upward, not your arms, right? I'm going to share a little bit more about the technique in a second. And second, do you have the cardiovascular endurance? Do you have the required output in order to move through these cyclical exercises? So answer these questions, yes or no. If technique is a no, and you're still pulling the kettlebell with your arm, which many people do, you don't understand how to do a proper hand insertion, then you have to go back to the writing board and see what am I doing wrong with the 16 kg snatch. Because if I go up with the weights, what happens in my case, I become a little bit slower, right? My working weights are now 28 and 32. I think I've really mastered the 24 to a certain extent. Not saying that it doesn't challenge me. I think just that I mastered it to an extent where I can say the 28 now becomes my new working weight. So when I snatch with the 32, my pace gets slower, but I'm totally fine. I don't think like, all right, oh, now I grab at 32, now I got to go back to swinging again, okay? And the cardiovascular endurance is something that you can build either through running, through cycling, through cross-country skiing, long walks, brisk walks, just to build up the engine that you can handle it. And I think I released a video yesterday where I talked about this because this was so interesting. Gregor Sobochan once told me that if you understand proper technique, and Gregor Sobochan, for those who don't know, is a kettlebell sport world champion from Europe. He's a machine. And he's a honored master of sport as far as I'm concerned. He said, once you understand technique, the snatch becomes a purely cardiovascular exercise. It's fascinating. So if you lag with your snatch, even though you understand technique, you haven't built the engine. So now that I can help you a little bit better, let me switch the camera to the gym. And let's make sure you guys can still hear me. I think you guys can still hear me, but I want to make sure the thing doesn't fail me now. Let me see. Give me a couple of seconds. So if you lag with your snatch. Oh my. Let me turn that back. All right. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Let me see if the system doesn't fail me. Yeah. The mic works. Great. All right. So let's check out the snatch then. Here's one thing that I want to show you, which is so vital. And this might help you. Listen up. The mistakes that you make in the swing, you will transfer these mistakes into the clean, and the mistakes from the clean, you will transfer them into the snatch. Same goes for the positive side. The skill you build in the swing is transferred into the clean and therefore into the snatch. So with the swing, here's a very important cue, which might answer some of the questions that are already in the chat. Check this out. When you swing the kettlebell, think about the most important cue, and that is stabbing your feet into the floor. Imagine you have a pair of fruit below your feet, and every time you swing the kettlebell up to chest level, you want to squash that fruit by stabbing your feet through the floor. Imagine pushing the floor away. If I think about the cue, this is what happens with my hips. Now, I just gave a feedback to one of our community members from the Kettlebell Dojo. His name is Ionut. And I told him, Ionut, you are using too much explosiveness, right? Typical hardstyle fashion. You don't have to. You don't have to be like, right? You don't have to be that explosive. It's just a 16 kg, right? So it's not about the explosiveness. It's about using the proper dosage of contractile force from your muscles to swing the kettlebell up. And since it's a exercise with momentum, you don't need that much explosiveness. I don't even use it with a very heavy kettlebell, right? So once you understand the cue that you have to stomp your feet into the ground or push your feet to the floor, then here comes the clean. So it's that 1, 2, 3. And if you struggle with this, which 99% of people do, if you hold the kettlebell like this is going to kill you. And the good thing about the pro kettlebell is that if you grab it like this, that bump is going to hurt on your forearm. So you have to understand how to properly insert your hand so that the kettlebell sits in that arm pocket. So once you understand this thing, the hand insertion, then we move up into the snatch. Right? So consider this, mastering the swing and mastering the clean. These are two fundamentals. And then you move into the snatch. And once you go into heavier weights, you should become a little bit slower, but you shouldn't digress back to a swing. It's a long answer to a question, which I hope it helps you. Jason, can you keep me on track with the questions so that I don't lose myself? By the way, Jason and Angie, they're both in the chat. And I just want to let you know, friends, Jason, he is officially employed by us now. So maybe Jason calls you up one day and asks you if you downloaded the ebook to see if you are interested in working with us. This is Jason's job currently. He's also moderating the stream and moderating the community. So Jason, thank you so much, man. I officially want to recognize the work that you're doing for us, which we really, really appreciate. So let's jump back into the questions then. All right, here we go. Scott, yes, how dare you have tech issues like the rest of us? Yeah, right. Tech issues, my God. Yeah, be careful what you ask for. Lucille, let me tell you, I ask God for all kinds of crazy things to improve my character. And in 99% of the cases, I fail. Right? Idiot error. It is. It truly is an idiot error. Problems is between keyboard and computer, yeah. Jordan D. Okay, how on earth do you snatch as much as you do? I'm 6'2", 90 kg body weight, all right, approximately 190 pounds, and all I can handle is the 60-pound bell. I've been practicing for 2 years. Jordan, that's an interesting point. I think if you snatch according to let me put it like this, most people snatch the hard style way, or, just, up and down with not enough details sprinkled on top of it. I understand this idea and this technique because, hey, snatch it. It's just a snatch. It's just a weight, right? I don't want to go too much on technique and skills because I've stopped trying to go down this dogmatic road, telling everybody that you have to master the swing before the clean and then the snatch. Of course it makes sense, but hey, you want to snatch a kettlebell, go ahead and do it. You're not going to die. It's not a flamethrower that's going to burn you. Stop that crap. I don't believe in this. And we see it every day with our clients, right? If you want to snatch, do it. But as soon as you reach a certain level, and I got started with that level when I got proper coaching, then you have to understand what the snatch really is, and the snatch is a cardiovascular exercise. And if you understand it and look at it from this perspective, essentially all of the ballistics are cardiovascular exercises. The hand-to-hand swing, the clean and jerk. The clean and jerk is more explosiveness, a little bit more power and strength in there. But the snatch and the swing, if you look at it for what it's worth with the ballistic component, it is a cardiovascular exercise. Yes, you can make it as hard as you want to, and then you can use very heavy weights. The only question that I have, that's the only question that I ask all the time is, what type of benefit do you get compared to somebody who uses the snatch for cardiovascular purposes, right? But that's another topic. So the reason why I'm able to snatch the way I do is because I learned proper technique. That's it, right? And I think I've also talked about this a couple of minutes earlier, and that is understand the technique of the snatch, and once you understand it, build the engine. And perfecting the snatch takes lots and lots of time. If you want to be a master at it and skillfully use the kettlebell in a way that is really that you want to nerd out and geek out on it, right? But lots of people don't want to nerd out and don't want to geek out on the kettlebell, which is totally fine. You can still snatch. And if it really brings you lots of joy and you're like, wow, I enjoy this, I think kettlebells are awesome, I want to take it to the next level. Great. From that perspective then on, great. Learn it, master it. Talk to somebody who's been there where you want to go. And then you might have to change your technique a little bit and improve on it. But until you're at that place or at that spot, the snatch will give you just as many benefits if you don't do it perfectly, right? And you're probably, lots of people are probably, I'm digressing as I always do, but you know, it's live and it's Q&A, so it's totally fine. From my perspective, at least. It's, lots of people have enough common sense to not grab a 32 kg kettlebell and start snatching it, right? So snatch with an 8, snatch with a 12 if you're a man, snatch with an 8 if you're a woman, and I think you're good, right? I hope that helps. Congrats on the 100K. Feels good when the hard work pays off. Yeah, it does, right? And let me extrapolate a little bit on this. Like I did in the last video. I just found my niche and then I perfected, or I'm trying to perfect my content delivery. I want to improve. And I don't think that people just tune in for myself. Yes, you build a personality over the years and people enjoy it, but at the end of the day, this is not about me. This is about helping other people, which in the end, I'm helping myself with this, right? And it's all about a powerful tool, which I believe doesn't get enough shine for what it is worth. And this, you know, when you watch the FIBO video, the one where I'm in my car, and this is frustrating. When you watch that video, you see that I was really mad that the kettlebell wasn't properly represented at one of the biggest fitness expos in Europe. So it's all about, the kettlebell. And I think the reason why it took off is because this is what I put in front, right? I don't put myself in front. I'm just a delivery vehicle, but the message is more important than the messenger, right? Haley Kuru, hey Haley, great to have you in the chat, man. Awesome. Question: How kettlebell weights are included in the Kettlebell Dojo? That's a good question. Here's what you got, Haley. The belt tests are divided into beginner, advanced, and professional. And you can do all belt tests with beginner weights. For men, that's 12 kg. For women, that's 8 kg. The only belt test where you have to use an advanced weight, which for men is 16 kg and for women it's 10 kg, I think, is for the black belt. Then you have to use heavier weights, but that's a very long journey. It takes you lots of time to even be able to get that many points to get to that level. That means you have to do lots of interactions and lots of likes and comments and questions, and posting good quality content in the community. But aside from the black belt, you can do everything up to the brown belt with beginner weights, because I realized it's not a test that you do because you want to become a trainer, but it is a test, or these belt tests are there to keep you motivated. I think this is the most important part that I forgot, that I didn't mention, and that is, it is all about trying to stay accountable, right? With your kettlebell and fitness journey. That's the idea. And so if you have a goal that you can strive towards this is what works so well. The gamification process works so well because you are in a program and everybody has the same goal, and you always want to strive for that next belt, that next fitness test, right? So that's exactly what it is. And if you pay close attention when you check out the dojo, it's actually built on Steve Cotter's IKFF CKT1 test, where you have to do 100 handstand swing, 32 clean and jerk, 60 snatch, and 30 squat, one arm switch, mind you, with exercise 2 and 3. And if you want to become a trainer under Steve Cotter's certification, IKFF, Angie and I, we had to do this. And I remember that it was really, 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 really intense, man. When I prepped for this was like, wow, mind-boggling. And now I can pretty much wing it fairly, or I can pretty much move through it fairly easily. But here's the point: the handstand swing, the clean and jerk, the snatch, and the squat. these 4 exercises. I just had a conversation with a gentleman this morning. His name is Gav. And I told him, hey, hand-to-hand swing, clean and jerk, or clean and press, snatch, and goblet squat. You do these 4 exercises for the rest of your life. You're good. You're good. You don't have to switch up anything. Question from Jason, thank you so much for reposting that question. Can work with kettlebells lead to heart problems? Zimin. Well, you know, I'm not a doctor, so I can't comment on this, but what the kettlebell does, actually, it does wonders for your heart. It's a miracle for cardiovascular fitness. And we see this every time now when I do a workout, even if it's not kettlebell related, which is not that often, but I do it, I'm always ready. It's like my system recuperates so fast because I believe I've built so much mitochondria now that is able to handle a recuperation process that I wasn't able to handle before. So before I was like gas forever, and now it takes me like a couple of minutes or sometimes even a couple of seconds and I'm ready to go back at it again. So it does wonders for the heart, but at the same time, if you have complications or if there's issues, you got to talk to your doc, man. But I've actually never heard that. You know, we work with people who have stents in their heart and no issues. Quite the contrary. The doc, I got reports from our clients who said, you know what the doctor said? He said, you know what? You don't have to show up 3 times a year now. Your cardiovascular, your respiratory fitness has gone through the roof. Your cardiovascular endurance is very strong now. So let's show up twice a year, right? He's so motivated and he's gotten so strong. He built such a strong heart that, yeah. But at the same time, what is the best exercise for building pure cardiovascular endurance? That is locomotion. Pure locomotion, running, cross-country skiing, rowing. But at the same time, here's the fascinating thing. If you row, I think kettlebell training from a strength endurance perspective is similar to rowing. With rowing, you also have a resistance that you have to overcome. Same with kettlebells, especially with the snatch. So I would put the snatch and rowing in a similar category. I hope that helps. Question from Paul Evans. Are clicking joints bad? Doesn't hurt when my shoulder's going forward, not backwards. Well, again, I'm not a doc, but if you mean that clicking and crackling, you know, I feel that everywhere. Right? I feel it in my knees, I feel it in my shoulders, I feel it in my T-spine. When I move, when I warm up, I feel it everywhere. And I love that feeling. I love the sounds like, oh, awesome. So if there's no pain, if it doesn't hurt, keep moving. Right? So especially overhead extension. Lots of people don't do that. And I even heard a coach that said, you know, overhead extension with the one arm can be a problem for the spine because the spine doesn't like that unilateral loading. I beg to differ. We see from experience, we have great results, and nobody's having issues with their spine or with their arm overhead. I think this is so important even, right? Because lots of us, many of us, we work like this all day, right? So we have this hunched over position. And then I think it makes sense to, when we train, open up that area. And that's, by the way, one of the reasons why people are so tight is, or they cannot open up their arms or it only looks like this, is because they have issues with their thoracic mobility, this one, and shoulder mobility. So then training can help. Of course, we also have limits. We're limited from a physiological perspective, depending on our genetics and depending on our build. This is totally fine. I cannot move a joint into a range of motion if there's a natural limitation because it's built like that. For example, the difference between Slavic and Celtic hips to a certain extent. But I can do, you know, what my body allows me to do and then, you know, work from there. So overhead extension, go ahead and do it if it doesn't hurt. You're welcome. You so deserve it. Thank you so much, Moira. Good, cheap diet. Can you help? Oh, don't diet. Don't diet at all. My recommendation is Noom. N-O-O-M. And what does Noom do? Let me tell you, 3 quick steps on how to master your nutrition. I would say 4 steps. Number 1, don't diet. Number 2, track your calories, log your meals every day. I know it's tedious work, but it is required because millions of people have had great results. We see this here. We didn't have millions of people, but we see this here. And this experience that we have is congruent with Noom's experience. And Noom has been working with millions of people. Lots of people have heard about Noom. So Noom, all right, log your meals. That's number 2. Number 3, step on a scale every day. I know this might be a psychological issue for many of you, but this pushes you outside your comfort zone. So it's just like training. It's like a muscle. The more you engage it, the stronger it becomes because you want to always stay in contact with your goal. I would say if that really bothers you, take it a step back and at least step on a scale every week. And when you do that, same scale, same time, same place. Important. And finally, here's point number 4, right? Point number 4 is change your psychology when it comes to nutrition. Because what is nutrition? When it comes to weight loss and fat loss and building muscle and improving your nutrition, what is it? Psychology. It is psychology. And let me give you that quick analogy that I use every time I talk to somebody about nutrition. If you want to feed somebody for a day, you give him or her a fish. If you want to teach them to be, if you want to teach them so that they can eat forever and that they don't hunger anymore, then teach them how to fish, right? It was a little bit chopped up, right? But you want to eat for a day? Here's a fish. You want to eat forever? Here's how to fish. And this is so important when it comes to nutrition. It's changing your thinking. And no, let me tell you, most of us, we have a warped perception of reality. We think I don't eat anything, when in fact, you don't even see it, you don't even realize it. Who of you can remember what they ate 6 days ago at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock? Nobody, right? Life happens so fast. We have an information overload. So many things happen. It is almost impossible for us to keep track of what we eat. And then we make the mistake or we think that, I don't think I eat that much. The reality is, if you wouldn't eat much, you would lose weight. Everybody is under that same principle that calories in, calories out. That's what it is. Right? So changing your psychology when it comes to nutrition, this is where Noom does a very awesome and powerful job, right? So don't diet. Check out Noom. I'm not affiliated, just to let you know. I don't make no money off of it if you join Noom. But I've realized that they do the same that we do. They just do it better. And I'd like to forward people to Noom so that we can then only focus on kettlebells. I believe in being an expert in one area, and even though I know maybe some stuff about other areas too, I'd like to refer out and just be good in that one particular area or very good, put it like this. Angie, you're awesome, Kim. I'm so proud of you. I love you, baby. Thank you so much for the 2. She always does this. Angie spends the $2, 2 Swiss Franken, Schweizer Franken. All right, I love you, babe. This is awesome. Question from Eddie. Oh, what? Wow. All right, here. Question from Eddie Cool. Only just discovered you. I've started with kettlebells. I have slight scoliosis in my lower back. Should I alter my technique for this? It burns when I'm swinging the kettlebell. I would assume that the lower back strain has nothing to do with your scoliosis and everything to do with the weakest link in the chain, and that is your lower back. The reason it burns is because the muscle is weak. That's it. I don't think it has to do with your scoliosis. I might be wrong because I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving out medical advice here. But just for you to understand, lots of people, the lower back burns out. Right? A lot of people, when we train with kettlebells in that strength endurance realm, people die because of their lower backs because it's the weakest link in the chain. And what do Russian weightlifters do? I've heard a story once where Russian weightlifters have to do thousands and thousands and thousands of back extensions, this exercise, right? To strengthen the weakest link in the chain, because if this one gives out, everything else gives out. I hope that answers your question, brother. Luso, Transylvania, Mayspell. Question. Exam for white and yellow and orange is basically same drills but longer time. Is it going to be the same in all exams? Yes, it is. So it's always the same 4 exercises. Like I told you in the beginning. Why? Because it's the most bang for your buck. It's tedious, yes, but that's what it is. You know how long it took me to master a clean and jerk and a clean and press? Forever. How long did it take me to master a snatch? Forever, right? And these are the best exercises. Of course, we could have designed every new workout for a belt test, but hey, we want to master the basics. And a black belt is that guy who has mastered the basics, right? And then once you master the basics, then you can venture out on your own. And let me tell you, this is going to take a long time. Remember, unbroken. You're going to be preoccupied with these 4 exercises for a long time if you want to do them unbroken. And if people think, well, that's not a challenge, go grab a heavier weight. It's a massive challenge. Jose, good morning. No politics, no doom scrolling. Exactly, Jason. Can someone in the 50s do the Kettlebell Dojo? Of course, Eric. I just told Angie today, we have to rewrite our marketing. We say it's for over 40s. But in reality, almost everybody that I talked, almost all the people that I talked to are over 50s. So the dojo is most definitely for you. If you like the kettlebell, and this is so funny, this is so interesting. Martial artists, cyclists, and over 40s, over 50s, over 60s, and even over 70s are attracted to kettlebells. Why? Because I believe they give you so much bang for your buck. They give you that flow feeling that no other training modality can give you. It doesn't do everything, but it does everything pretty well. I think that sums it up, right? Can we use PayPal for school? No, not yet. Question from Smozy Dylan. Can I hold the kettlebell upside down with the horns perpendicular to my body chest when doing the goblet squat? Of course, but it's actually not the best way from my perspective. And let me share my screen to let you know what I mean. Why do I believe grabbing the kettlebell by the horns is not the best idea? Because if I grab the kettlebell, especially a heavier one, like this, you can already see it, right? Watch my biceps. So the bicep has to do a lot of work. Now, if you want that, awesome, go ahead and do it. But I like to do it like this. We call this the sandwich grip, right? So if I hold the kettlebell like this, what's the good thing, especially if you do that dojo workout? What's the cool thing about that type of grip? When I squat down, I can, if I have enough hip mobility, I can rest my elbows on my knees, chest up, shoulders back, and I can rest a little bit in the bottom of the squat, depending on your mobility. Then I come back up. And the only thing that I feel is my legs. And I can tell you, when I did the purple belt today, because we are doing these in advance. And I was doing red. I was doing the red belt today. I did the purple belt yesterday with a 28, and oh God, almost collapsed. Not didn't collapse, but it was so intense. And today I did the red belt with the 24. And that was tough. And I felt it in my legs so hard. And I couldn't even imagine if I had to grab it like this and then focus, on that position where I have to hold it and almost die, right? So the goblet squat is a powerful exercise because I believe it trains your full body. But you don't have to grab it like this in that horn grip. But hey, if you want to, go ahead and do it. Hey, Jason, I like that. If you post me a question like this, I can immediately see the questions. This is awesome, Jason, man. What's going on here? All right. The systems fail me and the building fails me. All right, let's stay focused. I think that's all the questions from the old chat. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason, brother. Appreciate it. Clean and press that like button. Yeah. That's what we have to do. Renee K, maybe a silly question. Is it possible to join without Facebook? Of course. Renee, that's the idea, and that's not a silly question. There are no silly questions if they are meant from an honest and wholesome heart. No silly questions. Of course, that's the beautiful thing about the dojo. No Facebook. You don't need no social media, because social media is 90% of it is crap. It destroys our brains, right? It's venom, it's poison. For 90% that's on there is poison. We can debate about the percentages, but I think everybody agrees that it is poison. So you don't need it. No Facebook, no Instagram, no TikTok, no nothing. You just join the community. That's why it's so powerful. Sam Ovens was really smart, really smart. Are resistance bands cool? Could it be used with kettlebells? I find it difficult to do the swings with them. Arjit, I think you've asked that question. You're like, Gregory, I love you, Arjit. You're like, Gregory, do this video. Do that. Come on, do it. I'm not into resistance bands. You got to ask that doctor. What's his name? The guy who crapped on kettlebells? What's his name? The guy who sells his, I think he sells his power bands. I'm not into power bands. Doesn't mean that they're not good. But of course, and why even use power bands? Why not use a heavier kettlebell? Right? Maybe you say, oh, I have a light kettlebell and I want to make it heavier. I don't have the money to buy a heavier kettlebell. I get where you're coming from. Yet at the same time, well, then just start cleaning and snatching with that weight, right? And that'll challenge you. And then one day you have to probably go grab a heavier kettlebell. And I'm not into power bands. Important. This doesn't mean that it's crap or that I don't, or that you shouldn't use it. I'm just not into it. I'm into kettlebells, I'm into mace, I'm into the barbell. I love the barbell. And mace, let me tell you, one day I am going to invite the Flowing Dutchman. We already talked, we already had a conversation. One day I'm going to invite How About Ekberts, the Flowing Dutchman, into the gym, and he's going to certify Angie and me in a personal session, or certify at least, he's going to teach me the basics, or us the basics of mace training, just like we did with Steve Carter. And I'm going to stream it live if How About agrees. Because How About Ekberts, friends, the Flowing Dutchman, he's the king. He's the king when it comes to this. So let's see, where are we at? I think it's still, let me see, it's still going good. Right, appreciate this. This is good, this is good. Great. All right. Question, no physical, you already joined? No, and you know, I can't do anything about this. This has to do with the way school is set up. There is a way for me to set up a PayPal system, but this is so, PayPal is so, it's like Facebook. So chaotic. So unfortunately not, but probably down the line, as soon as school becomes very popular, then they're gonna add some stuff which is gonna, I think, elevate the game. But now it's credit card only. It's like Facebook groups without Facebook. Yep, exactly. No ads, no doom scrolling. CT, question for Lebe Stock. Who else is teaching the hybrid style that you know of? I love it as Steel Mace Flow reinvigorated my relationship with movement and health, and the hybrid style is the main modality. How can I say this? I don't want to sound arrogant. When Steve Carter came into the gym, I don't want to make this too long, but when Steve Carter came into my gym and he certified Angie and me, here's what happened. He taught me how to use the kettlebell properly, right? Great. And after I've learned from him, I took a deep dive into kettlebells, and I realized that he's kind of like a mixture between high tension and high volume. This is the overarching definition of that hard style idea, which I think is great. There's the grinds, a press, a strict press, a squat, a lunge, a row, a windmill, a get up. Yes, a cool exercise. We can debate on that a little bit, but the grinds are awesome with kettlebells. It's because of the unilateral aspect, you only work one side, the offset weight with the kettlebell, building tension. Even you don't have to do it like a power lifter. This is where I disagree with this idea. But high tension is important. And the kettlebell sport then takes the ballistic approach to kettlebells, right? They only do these 3 exercises: the jerk, the long cycle, which is clean and jerk with double kettlebells. You can only also do the 1-arm long cycle, and the jerk, long cycle, and snatch, right? They only do these 3 exercises. And from a ballistic standpoint, these are cardiovascular in nature because of the momentum. Now, yes, there's debate about it that you can be as explosive as possible if you use heavy weight and boom and explode, blah, blah. But if you look at the literature, it actually says that to a certain extent, when it comes to explosiveness, you build it with jumps, right? And if the kettlebell is able to build that explosiveness with the hard style fashion, then I want to see some evidence for it, right? So there might be, right? But when it comes to research, that's a very sad thing that we don't have a lot of research in the kettlebell sphere, but I'm digressing. So I took the deep dive, I studied it, and Steve calls this approach the martial art of kettlebells, right? And now I take a step back and say I consider the kettlebell the martial art of fitness. And when I came up with this idea, I now coined it. I now call it the Girovoy hybrid style. Girovoy is Russian, which means pertaining to kettlebells. Hybrid because we jump into 2 ideas that we always use, and style, there you go, right? But when I have 3 books from Bruce Lee that I read. And the one that was the most recent, Striking Thoughts, it's called, was very enlightening. And he says stuff like, you want to draw a circle with no circumference. You want to create a style without the mechanics in it. You use no style as a style. You use no limitation as a limitation. So Bruce Lee was a very big fan of breaking it up. He says that lots of people who only are dogmatic about one style or one idea or one philosophy, they tend to become trapped in this idea. Then they are in a prison instead of being able to fully liberate and express themselves. Now, this doesn't mean that there's no science and there's no mechanics behind the exercises, but here's what Bruce Lee said, and I 100% agree. He said, when I started this thing, a kick was just a kick. Then I went down the rabbit hole. Then a kick became everything. It became science. It became a idea to be researched. It became my bread and butter. I realized there's thousands of ways to kick. And then when you reached level 3, the level of inspiration and the level of a master, he said the kick is now just a kick, right? This is so beautiful. You got to jump into the philosophical idea of Bruce Lee. Everybody knows the be like water statement, right? In that one interview, I think it's called The Lost Interview or The Lost Tapes or something like this. But he has so many good ideas. Here's one thing that just strikes my mind where he says, I know for a fact, how does he say it? I'm not arrogant to claim that I'm number 1, but I also know that I'm not no number 2. I think I said it right. I know I'm not number 1, but I also know that I'm not number 2. I really like that. I got to research this. Give me a second. I wrote it down in my notes. This is so powerful. Number 1, I think I should find it immediately. And then number 1, where does he say this? This is so powerful. Here he goes. I have the absolute confidence that I'm not number 2, but then again, I also have enough sense to know, he turns it around. See, I misphrased it. That's why I said it wrong. But listen, here it comes. I have the absolute confidence that I'm not number 2. But then again, I also have enough sense to know there's no number 1. Wow. Bruce Lee is a beast. Move like water, rest like a mirror, respond like an echo, pass quickly like the non-existent, be quiet as purity. To be humble to superiors is duty. To equals, it's courtesy. To inferiors, it's nobleness. Oh my God, this guy was so philosophical, man. Powerful. But I'm digressing. Let's stick to the chat, right? So what was the question, actually? So then I gave it that name because lots of practitioners, actually, they call themselves hybrids. Yeah, I do some art style, I do some giveaway, right? I do some kettlebell sports stuff. So I just coined it. And maybe we can say that because I really take that deep dive. I'm not an athlete, but I'm not a kettlebell sport guy. I'm not no hardstyle guy. I'm something in between. So I think I'm forging a new path. I don't know where it leads. And yeah, you can maybe say that this giveaway hybrid style idea, maybe, I'm working on it, but at the same time, I get inputs from all around. So it's just like the Jeet Kune Do approach, right? I take it, I build it, but it's not something that's set in stone. And I don't want people to walk around and say, this is exactly what the hybrid should move. No. I don't believe in that stuff. I have noticed many athletes, Arjit, in and all your videos, keeping the thumb straight while snatching, swinging, and clean and jerking. Does it provide any leverage? No, it's preference. Ian, I'm brand new to kettlebell workouts and have loved your content so far. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Real Rain 89, great explanation. I get what you're saying. Appreciate it. Hey, was there a super chat? Somebody posted a super chat, right? Did I see that? Jason, where's the $5? Right? Somebody spent $5 and I don't see it. Liquid Funk. Here we go. I'm gonna get back to you soon, brother. Oh my, these are lots of questions. I gotta go faster, man. Wait, I gotta go way faster. I gotta go fast! You're sleeping, Gregory. All right, let's go. Question, Andrew. How should I pivot my mindset going from training like a bodybuilder to kettlebell training? Try to become loose. Soften up a little bit. Don't be too tense. Don't be too tight. And don't think in terms of upper body, lower body, arms, back. Right? I know where you're coming from because I was there too. And Dana Zorns, which I had on the podcast, he was there too. And my God, this dude was diced. Go check out Dana Zorns. Raise bells. This guy was bam. I think I was a little bit built to skid, but this guy was a house. So we have to loosen up, right? And maybe you have to come to terms with the fact that you might lose a little bit of muscle. But you will gain everything else. More endurance, more flexibility, more the flow feeling, more mobility, stronger ligaments, stronger tendons, that you restore your body's elasticity. You take the brakes away from the muscle. This is kettlebells, man. What are the benefits from making this transition? I think I shared them just with you. From building muscle to losing some muscle. Yeah, the bodybuilder's approach is I want to build muscle, right? I was there too. And I remember like it was yesterday. I was like, why is not everybody focused on this? I mean, I want to get the biggest biceps ever, right? I want to get this. So why is not everybody who's in the gym concerned about building as much muscle as possible? I remember as if I was thinking about this yesterday. And so what happens if we only hone in and zone in on one idea? The other aspects of physical qualities get lost. What about endurance? What about mobility? What about flexibility? What about the flow feeling? What about the ligaments, the tendons? What about training your body as a unity, right? What about strength endurance? What's happening? Well, I don't do cardio, right? With kettlebells, you don't even do that. This is not cardio or strength. Everything's in there, right? So lots of bang for your buck. Sir, what adjustable kettlebells are worth it? I don't know because I don't use them. Ian, hi, where can I buy the hollow competition kettlebell? I use solid cast iron 80 kgs and I'm not comfortable with doing the overhead snatch with them. Jason, are you on in the community, Jason? I'm gonna send you, I think I can pin this. I can pin it too, right? Go to Pro Kettlebell, all right? So I think you can use the code, let me see. Pro Kettlebell and use the code Lebe Stark, I think. Yeah. Go to Pro Kettlebell, use the code Lebe Stark for 10% off, and go buy kettlebell from Pro Kettlebell. It's the best kettlebell ever. Efe, Yarabashi. Question, what are your thoughts on training with uneven bells in each hand? Getting double bells every 4 kgs can be super expensive. Give it a shot. See how your body reacts and don't forget to switch sides. Yeah, lots of people do it. And I get that question often. Do it, right? By all means. And then switch sides. I know we're all burned by Athlete Nexus imbalances, right? But man, life is an imbalance, isn't it? Lukash. Hello, Gregory. I'm pretty weak because I recovered from anorexia recently. What would you recommend for building strength? I can do swings, but it's not easy. Is deadlift and single arm press okay for this? Of course. Why not combine the three? Swing, single arm deadlift, or swing, deadlift, and single arm press. Yeah. 10 reps of each. And when you do the single arm press, don't forget to switch sides after 5 reps. Go ahead and do it, brother. Jordan's answered, yeah, great. Oh, yeah, great. Very good feedback on the swing. Many thanks. You're welcome, Unut. Mark, how's your brother doing with his recovery? Man, this is my brother is a miracle of God with 2 legs. Yet I think he still has a little bit issues with the left leg. I got to ask him, but he just recently, my brother went through a great transition because, for those of you who don't know, my brother was in a very hardcore car accident. He was crossing the street and then boom, a car crashed into him, 60 kilometers per hour. I think, what is that, 40 miles? 45 miles, something like this? Bam! My brother hit the floor, boom, went into the hospital, and it looked like he was dying. So then he recovered, and yeah, if you look at him now, you're like, wow, you wouldn't even think. You wouldn't even think. And my brother landed head first on the concrete pavement from a, let's say, like 2 meters high. It's, there you have it. There's proof, right, that God exists. So a legion of angels were around to take care of my brother. And now, here's the beautiful thing. He started training with us, and he fell in love with the water rower. Isn't that beautiful? He was like, I like that. I like that. So I think he lost some serious amount of weight. I think it's like 10 or 15 pounds at least, or 20 pounds even. And I asked him, brother, what are you doing? And he said, I do a couple of minutes of rowing every day because I enjoy it. You win. So not only did my brother recover from that crazy accident, he also lost some serious weight now, and he's taking care of his fitness, which, yeah, what can you ask more for your brother? I realize there's so many small details. Miss one important one, it gets way harder. Exactly, William. Go, Jason, yo. Sheriff, you just joined the Kettlebell Club. Awesome. Let me give you a recommendation. Cancel the Kettlebell Club membership on YouTube and join the Kettlebell Dojo. It's $5 a month. I think the Kettlebell Club is only $1 a month, and this is like support for the channel because YouTube was asking me, was harassing me, like, you got to set up that Kettlebell Club, that membership. I was like, what do I want to share? I don't even know. So lots of people do like your backstage stuff, and we don't have backstage stuff. I mean, we're a gym, right? I'm a trainer. I'm a kettlebell expert, right? I'm a kettlebell guy. So cancel that gym membership, cancel that membership on YouTube, and go join the dojo. I think there's way more value in it for you in the dojo. But if you don't and you want to stay subscribed or join that club, man, or woman, you're welcome to do so, brother or sister. I think you're a woman, right? Because now I'll read your question. Is it possible for Angie to do more female-specific videos? Here we go. See, I should read the text first. All right, sister. Yeah, Angie, listen, when it comes to content, some of you guys, you're harassing me about Angie. Angie is supposed to do more. Rah, rah, rah. Listen, Angie has her own mind, her own preferences, her own perspective. I let her do her thing. And if she wants to do a video, she wants to make a video, she wants to post something. We did a follow along a couple of months ago for the channel. If she wants to do it, she can do it, but I don't force her to. I'm not like, listen, everybody always wants you on the channel. I tell her that folks enjoy your stuff too, but if, it's on her. So yeah, if Angie sees this, I'm going to forward this to her. And then, yeah, maybe there's female-specific content. Yet at the end of the day, you can do the for men exercises just as much. And here's a little magic trick. I'm saying for men over 40 because this is a demographic that we are serving. And lots of people think that there is differences between the sexes. There is, of course, but when it comes to the exercises, everybody profits from a squat. But of course, we call out the demographic. In marketing, it's called dog whistle copy. You want to call out your demographic so that they know, all right, this sounds like it's for me, because we see the analytics and the data says that over 40s and, like I said, over 50s enjoy kettlebells. Let's go, Lebe. Thomas, what's up? Cool, I go down to the 20. All right. You would have made 100K subs in 6 months ago if you didn't trigger CrossFit. That was funny, right? Oh my. That little Instagram post went crazy and everybody was like, you didn't join the games. For those of you who don't know, that was a funny reference because I did a short where I was critiquing the technique of the CrossFit athletes, but at the same time, I was marveling at their fitness because with that crap load of a technique, they were able to bang out these reps with double 32s. Wow, this is just impressive. I don't care what you say about CrossFit, but this is massively impressive. But the technique was completely off. So I made a video, and oh my God. Why are you even saying this? You didn't. What was your number? Oh, how did you say it? What was your rep count? Or what was your score in the games? You didn't join. Your back looks, oh my, it's always the same comments. When somebody new or when something gets viral and it goes above our community, right? Then folks jump in like, oh, your back. And when you have the rack position with the Cobra back, they're like, this is bad for your back and everything. That was really, really, really funny. And I think even that one guy, what's his name? Noah Olson is a CrossFit athlete. That guy even commented. He was like, I think I look good. I think he was making a joke. And everybody's like, oh, Noah, we love you, man. That was funny. That was really funny. Stack and chill. I really enjoy your content. Question, my biggest problem with the snatch is when I drop it to do the next rep, but I kill my hands. In short, I can't do the grip switch. Just switch with a hand-to-hand swing, right? You drop the kettlebell down, and you switch it with a hand-to-hand swing. Bell comes up, you switch it at chest level, you drop it back into the backswing, bell goes back up. Let me show you this because then I have a little bit of more movement. I don't want to sit all day. Check this out. When you switch sides, you can do the hand-to-hand snatch, which is, you know, it's funny, we give these funny names, the tactical snatch, the tactical clean. It's a hand-to-hand snatch, right? You can do a hand-to-hand snatch, which is a little bit harder to do, or a hand-to-hand swing in between. Let me show you the normal, the easy version. So, done. Now, I drop it, swing. And now I'm saying, all right, the hand-to-hand snatch. All right, a little bit harder to do with heavier weight, so be careful. But just whoop, there you go. And it's important when you do snatches and cleans that you don't always jump and kill your palm skin, but you don't want to slide over your palm skin, but you want to jump. It's not this, what I see all the time, right? This, no, it's here from here, here, here. And if it really messes up your hands, go get this, the Watt Welder. Not affiliated, just like their product. This is beeswax. Then you have this pumice stone to chaff off or to get rid of those calluses if they are a little bit sticky. And then aloe vera. I like it. Great for hand care. But it shouldn't be the norm. It's not like every time you do a intense kettlebell set that your palm skin should fall apart. That's not the idea. All right. Let's punch through these questions. Random question here. Are kettlebells better for training connective tissue than man, read a little bit slower, man. Javier, random question here. Are kettlebells better for training are kettlebells better for training connective tissue than muscle tissue? That's actually a good question. That's a good question. I would argue, Javier, that the ballistic exercises are probably rather connective tissue training than muscle tissue training. That's a good point, man. Juan, If you could only have 3 kettlebells, which weights would they be? Well, now I'm advanced, so it's 24, 28, and 32. Good question, Juan. Yep. Numide Wahad. Hi there. Is it possible to work out for hypertrophy with kettlebells? Yes, it's a weight after all. So if you manipulate that weight according to the laws of hypertrophy, you will build muscle. It's probably not the most conducive, I would say. The most conducive are machines. But of course you can do it. The kettlebell does everything. I think the kettlebell is the best generalist's tool. That doesn't mean, however, that it does everything perfectly. No, that's not the case. But it does everything fairly well. But you won't look like a bodybuilder in most cases. Yes, there are folks who do that bodybuilding kettlebell stuff, but I would argue if you look at what most folks look like, it is most of the time it's lean built. Even the big guys, look at Ivan Denisov. That guy's not overly muscular. He's just big, but not like Arnold Schwarzenegger type guy, right? So for those of you who don't know, Ivan Denisov is a heavyweight champion in kettlebell sport. This guy's like a tower. My question, I'm currently on day 11 of the 90 days of kettlebells. Awesome! And it's the same 3 workouts for round 1. Can we do more rounds? No. No. You guys are always asking me these questions. Can I do a swing instead of a squat? Can I do a brrrr? Here's the thing. I've designed these workouts with something in mind. And I used to say like, well, do whatever you want. Now I'm like, no, you don't. You shall not pass. Right? You don't. Now, why am I saying this? Because, listen, the further you progress down with 90 days of kettlebells, they're going to get harder. I got one comment in Kettlebell Plus. The guy was like, hey, I realized that I had to use less weight because now these workouts are cracking me up. Wow, what should I do? Should I go drop down with the weight? Because when I got started, it was very easy. That's the idea, right, of a good course. It starts easy and then it gets harder. And here's the thing. This is important. Consistency is more important than intensity. Write this down. Consistency is more important than intensity. I'd rather have you do 10 minutes of kettlebell workouts for the next 365 days, every once or twice a week, and you'll be in massive shape 12 months later, than you go balls to the walls for the next 4 weeks and then you stop like so many people do. Can or should we wear gloves? You go. By the way, Hugo, welcome to the Kettlebell Dojo. Love to see you in there, man. You're already very active in the Facebook group, so it's great to have you in the... And Hinek is in the house too. Great. Gonna get your question to your question ASAP. You only wear gloves if you talk to Sergey Rudnev. Sergey Rudnev is using the glove snatch. Why is he doing this? He's wearing really these cotton. He's using these cotton gloves, right? So he's using these gloves because he wants you to struggle with the grip so hard that when you take the glove off, it's like the kettlebell sticks to your hand. It's actually a great idea, and lots of people do it. The glove, and he said it. Gregory, I have something. I call it the glove snatch. You know glove snatch? I'm like, no, I don't. Show it. So here the glove snatch. You drop down, you come up. I love it, man. And it was a real honor to talk to a legend like Sergey Rudnev. Have him on the podcast. By the way, for those of you who don't know, we have a podcast channel where we talk to kettlebell practitioners from all around the world. And actually, we're setting up a next roundtable where I'm asking Yanni Kokozaki, Emilio Jubel, Eric does kettlebells, Pat Damiano, Glenn Weinstein from Kettlebell 6. Awesome folks and forward thinkers that I want to have on the podcast. I talked to Steve Carter, my sensei. I got to get him back on a podcast soon. And please go check out the last podcast that I did with Dana Zorns from Raise Bells. This guy's cool. This guy's awesome. Other than this, you're probably not talking about the glove in that sense, from that perspective, like Sergey Rudnev is talking about. I'm just assuming. Probably not. So, no. But lots of people wear gloves because they rip it and grip it, right? They treat the kettlebell like a dumbbell. So, and then you destroy your palm skin. No. I do understand where it comes from, but it always messes with the technique because a glove automatically thickens the handle, and then you're not able to jump back and forth. Plus, you'll get used to doing the technique wrong, and your body's not giving you any vital signals for you to change anything because you always bypass that necessary frustration and that necessary uncomfortable zone where you should understand how to progress and change your technique, right? But at the end of the day, of course, use gloves. If that helps you, use it. That's totally fine. Hinek! Do you plan to have dojo belt tests somehow supervised and marked as approved with, for example, icon next to the avatar? And do you plan to print the guerrilla, what's GFM again? It's the guerrilla member, right? Guerrilla first members? Yeah, that's great. Funny because the Kettlebell Dojo wasn't official. I teased it a couple of days ago, but some folks already found a way in. I think, Hinek, you were the one who went on school.com and then you Googled Kettlebell Dojo and you were like, hey, here I am. I'm like, what? Where does this guy come from? That was cool. It was really cool. So, Hinek, actually, today I had a training with one of our clients. Her name is Nadine, and she's a beast. Nadine's a beast. She, the way she moves the kettlebell, bam. And I came up with an idea. And we're probably going to use it in the dojo. It's going to be a Kettlebell Dojo tournament or a kettlebell tournament. It's a great idea where it's actually, I'm going to just teasing it. What we're also thinking about is maybe using the Kettlebell Dojo to do a get-together where we train together in a Zoom class. Would be also interesting to a certain extent, or where you just follow us, right? Just like we did on YouTube, the live follow-along workouts, or you follow us in Ancient DR going balls to the walls and you try to follow us. This is one thing, but that tournament idea, because Alex Hormozi came up with the school games where the people who participated in the school games had to make as much money as possible per month to get ranked in number 1, 2, and 3, and then I think they won something. And we could do something like, hey, we have the kettlebell tournament or the dojo tournament, and now here's your assignment. That's what you have to do, and you can get points, and then you have to upload it, because it's always a little bit tricky to get everybody together because we have time zones from all around the world. But we could say, hey, we have one day, now you got to deliver, show us your video, count the reps, and the one who got the most reps is number 1, right, or most points. This is something that we're thinking about, right? It's great that you're always thinking about this too. William Carlson, a big goal of mine is to snatch a 32 kg. I succeeded doing a 28 kg, but I found out my technique has been bad. That's normal, William. That's pretty normal. And the solution is get good. Bo Johnson, say that again. What do you need for the rest of your life? Hand to hands, write it down. Whenever you join these lives or webinars, or whenever you join and watch our videos, I drop so much value, or I aim to drop so much value that you need to write it down, because the brain has bad storage memory. Hand-to-hand swing, clean and press, snatch, goblet squat. The big 4. And what do you think? The swing, the clean and press, and the snatch. Where do they belong to? Question. Jason, point. If you're still in the chat, post that as a question. Who answers that question correctly? Swing, clean and press, and snatch. Let's make it a little bit interactive, friends. We have 83 folks in the chat. Make it interactive. Answer the question. Swing, clean and press, snatch. What are they part of? 1, 2, 3. What are they part of? Some of you should know. Jason already helping out. Love it. Alfonso, what's up? Question, are double kettlebell exercises included in the dojo? Yes. But I'm not going to say when. And I'm not going to say where. But they're coming. And it's going to be good. You're going to enjoy it. Teasing. So Dan has a workout called the Armor Body Complex that you can do 3 to 4 times a week. What would your perfect workout? And your question's gone. I like the Armor Body Complex. I like the ABC. Love it. Nemanja Đurović. Stravo. Steima. Huge fan. Watching you for quite some time. Would appreciate if you could share some diet tips or give suggestions on what to eat for best performance and aesthetics. Like I said, let's go through these points again. Noom. Love these guys, what they do. 4 points to success with your diet. Number 1, stop dieting. Number 2, track and log your meals forever. It's a support wheel that you need because you have to understand what energy your body gets. Number 3, step on a scale each and every day. Write it down, log it. Number 4, change your psychology when it comes to nutrition. Change your thinking. The Bible says that too. Change your thinking. Because most of the time, our thinking is flawed. All right? Bo Johnson, what kettlebell exercise is good for core? All of them that we do. The swing, the squat, the press, the row, the reverse lunge, the windmill, the deadlift. Everything's good for the core. Why? Because the core is always activated. Stop, folks, when you jump into kettlebells, stop thinking in these bodybuilding categories. What do I need for core? What do I need for biceps? Get away from this. I never think about my core. I never. Not at all. Not 1 second. Snatch, clean, swing, boom, I'm good. And science says that if you want to combat and battle your back pain, one of the best recipes against back pain is not a strong core, interesting, but an enduring core, a core who has lots of endurance. All right? Very interesting. So, and here's my second question, and I say this with a lot of love. Why some of you folks out there, some of you very valued subscribers, which are dear to my heart, I love it, I appreciate you showing up, I appreciate the time. Why are you asking me about core? Why? Here's why. I believe most people think about aesthetics. I need core exercises. For what? For what? To get a stronger core? Just like, like this? Like, for what? Most people say, well, it's aesthetics. No exercise, no ab exercise in the world will improve your aesthetics and give you a six-pack. No kettlebell exercise at all in the world will ever do this for you. You build your six-pack by eating less. Men should get below, I think it's 13, 14%. If you go below 10, you look diced. And women, it's like maybe below 19, 18, or 20%, right? This is tough to achieve for most people, right? But this is calories in, calories out. Single hand overhead will only help the spine by strengthening the core stability using offset weight. Interesting, good point, right? The guy who said this was Wolfgang Unselt. And Wolfgang Unselt is a German coach, which I highly respect. The guy has lots and lots and lots of experience. And he shared 3 points about the kettlebell, where I generally agreed, but on that thing with overhead extension, where the kettlebell's overhead and the spine doesn't like that bending, I know where he comes from, but we don't bend. We actually stay in that dynamic or in that static stance where we resist rotation, right? So, yeah. Is there a possibility to join the dojo without a credit card? No, Renee, no. I have rigid chest, not yet. I have rigid chest and shoulders since early childhood. I can't raise my hands vertically above the head. Can I do something with this? Well, yes. Swings, deadlifts, squats, rows, farmer's walk. Here you go. Every meal for the first 30 days at minimum is the same advice I give to every meal. Tracking every meal for the first 30 days is at minimum is the advice I give to anyone who asks as well. Exactly. And if you're a trainer, you maybe see this, right? We see this in experience. When people track their calories, their success, their weight loss goes through the roof if they're honest. Lots of people track calories and then it's like, yeah, I didn't count the alcohol. What? You don't count the alcohol? You know how many calories that crap has? Right? Not saying that you shouldn't drink anything, but it's filled with liquid calories are the worst. Not the worst from a sense that you don't even feel that. Plus it messes with your brain and with your body. You cannot metabolize it properly. So, tracking is one of the best support wheels. Does it mean you have to track your whole life? No, it's a support wheel that you need to build the house. Like I said, it's tedious, but it's required. And you might be saying, yeah, but why? Because millions of people, data shows, check out Noom, it's fascinating. Data shows from their perspective, millions of people go through the same process and they have that success because of these 3 steps. These are psychologists. These are people who've done research, who studied that stuff. So then I can walk around and say, well, but according to my opinion, I don't care about my opinion. I care about the body of evidence, right? So it's fascinating. Good call, CT. If you could combine any program with Simple and Sinister, what would it be? I don't do Simple and Sinister. 1 million sub requirement. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound condescending. So if I come off like this, I apologize. Pardon me. Why do I think Simple and Sinister is not worth my time. I love the swing, but the get up, I really went away. I used to believe that the get up is the magic bullet because I was so entrenched in kettlebells. And now I realize it's not that. It's just it's a circus exercise. I call it the circus get up. Stands no chance from a functional perspective against squats, press, swing, walks. No chance. Nobody can tell me that the get up gives you more benefits than a squat, a press, and a walk, and a squat, and a swing that you can learn in a fraction of the time that it needs to learn that stupid choreography of a get up. So what would I do? How about swings and burpees? And other than this, take what I said out of the equation. Why do something else if you follow Simple and Sinister? Because Pavel clearly states, hey, do this. So Pavel came up with an idea. I disagree with it, but he came up with an idea and a training concept. So follow it. All right? Maybe some walking, maybe some running, right? Maybe some cardiovascular training can be good for you. But when trainers come up with an idea, even though it may be flawed, they put some thought in it. And why then changing and go up and down and try this and that, right? 1 million sub requirement for a kettlebell juggling series of videos. I'm not into juggling, brother. Give that man a bag of potatoes and tell him to plant them. Exactly. Someone asked about cheap diet, buy bigger packs of food, example, blah, 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 blah. All right, you're helping each other out. That's awesome. Do you do extended fasts? Not intentionally, but from lunch, I had lunch 12 p.m. I'm going to eat in probably 30 minutes when I quit the stream and I go home. If you call that an extended fast, yes, but I don't do it intentionally. It just happened to work for me. All right, let's go a little bit faster to catch up with the questions. I just signed up for Kettlebell Dojo. Yeah, David, what's up? David's in the house. Love it, man. David, always commenting, always showing love. David, I catch this late as I'm working and wanted to jump in and say thank you to Angel for the awesome content. I'm a happy Kettlebell Plus member too. David, I love how you always push our products and our content. Like on almost every Facebook ad, I see your name like, hey, I'm a happy member. I like Lebe stock. Lebe stock. Now I say I say my native language with a foreign accent. Oh my God. Oh, talk about mixing up languages. David, I truly appreciate it. Giving you a strong shout out. Love it, man. I think back fatigue is also a result of a poor translateral abdominals and or not enough scapular depression. Might be. No question. Commenting is dangerous. In the house. Just wanted to say hello. Wish you very well. I'm doing carnivore, walking 2 miles every day in kettlebell 3 times a week. Awesome. Thomas, the dojo's not free, no? Greg, what time? Here we go. 5 pounds, brother. Appreciate it. What time scale should you recommend? What time scale would you recommend for someone looking to gain a kettlebell instructor certification? Time scale? I don't understand the question properly, but the way I understand it, it took me, I was already fit. And in February 2019, I asked Steve if he would visit us so we can get certified with him. That was in June 2019, he showed up. And we did both, CKT1 and CKT2. So it took me March, April, May, June. It took me 4 months to prepare for the test. But this is important, to prepare for the test. But the certification is just piece of paper. The knowledge as a trainer, I mean, that's a long process. That's a very long process. Arjit, biceps give in a goblet squat, but sandwich grip shifts weight to chest, hence more leverage to hold longer. Exactly. Alexei, yo, what's up? What's up, Alexei in the house? You have a question of Turi? Yo, Turi in the house. What is a good interaction pattern between kettlebell training and regular gym sets? Let's say 5 times a week. Depends on your goal. I would say if you're a typical gym member or typical gym stuff, you probably do a split, right? Upper body, lower body. I would do upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, rest. Upper body, lower body, and then rest. And then on day 7, if you want to go a 5th time, then I would do kettlebells. If my focus was building muscle and more the gym vibes, but I still want to get some practical stuff in with the kettlebell. And if it is the other way around, I would say, well, kettlebells almost every day, right? If you're a really intense practitioner, which I know you are, Alexei. And then the gym, I would ditch the gym then. Because that first option that I gave you makes sense if your focus is to really hone in and build muscle. If it turns around where you're like, no, I want whole body fitness and stuff, I don't even think you need the gym. Oh, that's an interesting realization. William, 60 years old, and I'm having lower back tightness and pain after a kettlebell routine. That's normal, William. It's the weakest link in the chain. It's normal if you don't have any issues, if you have serious issues that you need to get checked with your doc. Of course, please don't take this as medical advice because it is not, but many people experience that lower back tightness. So might be something wrong with your programming, something wrong with your weight, something wrong with the routine and the exercises, or you just got to get used to it. René from the Netherlands. Yo, Holland. Okay, to log your daily activity on the dojo with pics and workout description? Yeah, of course, do it. Just, by all means, do it. Do it. Just like you did in the Facebook group, show up, do it. I love you guys. It's the... Do it now! Put that cookie down! Now! I just can imagine the Schwarzenegger voice. Maces! Yeah, that's what's up. Dutchman collab will be great. I think you will intuitively understand the mace flow coming from sport hybrid style. Yes, and I already do the mace. The backswing, I think it's the best exercise with the mace, but I'm interested in learning more, but I'm not that mega flow guy. That's why I don't juggle with kettlebells, but I still like his approach and I believe he's the king. The flowing Dutchman. Getting your brain and hands to work on each side is another slow development. Exactly. Anthony Martini. Kettlebells are saving my life. Thank you for your concise and very clear teaching style. The videos are all relevant. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much, Anthony. Anita, will you have kids routines? Also, will you write an all-comprehensive book on kettlebells? An all-comprehensive book on kettlebells probably when I'm 60 or something. When I've gained lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of experience. Now, I'm not into books. I'm into videos. This is my thing. But a book, yeah, maybe down the line. And kids' routines, we had kids. So what can you do with kids? I believe all the exercises, all the kettlebell exercises, with I think you've asked me this, right? With kids, monitored, make sure everything is monitored when you train with them. Don't push them into an idea because they have to develop. I think one of the best things about kids is they want to learn. When they see you move, they want to move too, right? They see you swing kettlebells, they want to swing kettlebells too. And then, very slow, gradually, there are baby kettlebells actually. I'm not sure if he still sells them, but that's a baby kettlebell. Watch, right? The way I can hold it. This is a 2 kg from Dunka. Watch this. That's USA YKBS. I'm not sure if he still sells them. But this is from my friend Moses Dunka. I'm not sure if he still has the Kettlebell Sanctuary in Vegas. I think he closed it down. But reach out to him. Moses Dunka. He's on Instagram too. And he does the kettlebells for kids. Look at that. Right? Isn't that awesome? And he's big on training kids, so that's his forte. Can someone only work out with kettlebells, or do you recommend other type of weight training in lieu? Well, I do other stuff too. I do barbells. I do dumbbells, not that much recently, but barbells and body weight, man. I think kettlebells and body weight is awesome. And body weight, barbells, kettlebells, woo! What would you recommend for strength training with bells? Hey! Yo! Look who entered the chat. Hey, booyah, booyah. The crew is here.
Hello.
Hey, booyah, booyah.
Everybody.
Hoi, Snoepali. Maar zo niet, schat. Ja, schätzli. Niet die brek haaien. Yo! Look who joined. The family's here. Check this out. Oh, love one, vuren? Daar, zoom. Yo! Yo, the Lebe family joined. What's up? Ha 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 ha. All right. Cool. How cool is that? I'm like, who walks in? Strength, what would you recommend for strength training with bells? I would just use the grinds, actually. The ballistics, I think, can build ligament strength and connective tissue strength. I like that distinction from Javier. And when it comes to pure strength, heavy weights, right? Heavy weights and low reps, right? So, where we at? 49-year-old, DJ Art Valdez, 49-year-old, below knee amputee. I have been using kettlebells for the past 4 years. I'll modify my movement exercises based on what my body will allow me to perform. Range of motion is somewhat limited. Brother, thank you so much for joining. Exactly what I would do. You modify what you can do. You modify it according to your body's capabilities. That's great. Jason moderating the chat. Love it. Thank you, brother. Thomas Dobson. Yes, if you learn how to snatch for 10 minutes, you're in better shape than I. Yeah, most heavily. I would say it doesn't even have to be 10 minutes. You snatch for 5 minutes. I would say even 3 or 4 minutes, and you're in monstrous shape. 123 KID. Hi, Gregory. Can you tell us the name of the kettlebell with the ergonomical shape? Of course, it's the Pro Kettlebell. And what is? Hey, let me search that. Pro Kettlebell. Pro Kettlebell. I have to search this discount because let me see. Where is that? Man, I had so much back and forth with Nikolai. I probably won't find it. Now I won't find it. But the Pro Kettlebell. Pro. I think Jason already tagged it somewhere, right? I respect the channel and the workouts you provide. Best on YouTube. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, snatch for 10 minutes straight. Exactly, Thomas. That's kettlebell sport. One arm switch only. Jason helping out like a pro. Is there a range with the 10 minutes I should try to reach? Yes, build slowly up, right? It's just 1 minute and 2 minutes and 3 minutes, but you guys are having conversations amongst each other. I love it. Bruce Lee majored in philosophy, exactly. That's, yeah. I remember. Good point, Jason. Is the dojo $5 per month as a promo? Yes, for the first 100 members. And then it goes up to $9 a month, and we'll see. Ich wäre gerne, habe keine Kreditkarte. Ja, ich weiß. Vielleicht kommt das noch mit PayPal. Vielleicht kommt das noch. I have to go now. Roland, thank you for joining, man. Yeah. If you're able to snatch 20-24 for 10 minutes straight without setting it down, you're a monster. You gotta go fast. Yeah, like Sonic the Hedgehog. I love. Man, there's so much wit, man. You always got these punchlines. Never ask a kettlebeller about bodybuilding. I don't shut up about it either if someone asks me. Arjit, I'm an intermediate with kettlebells and following you for almost 2 to 3 years and others and learn a lot from your videos. I can perform the basics but still can't get the volumes. I tried the left side, but I can't. You know, there's always one side that's a little bit weaker than the other. That's normal. Oh, here we go, Jason, thanks. You can get there 2 to 3 years if you work consistently. Yeah, that's a good time frame. You probably, if you're honed in, it took us 1 year to really master the snatch to a certain extent, and we went balls to the walls. 2020, pandemic year. CrossFit and now Athlete, you're gonna have a mob headed your way. You know, I mean, I love Athlete Next, right? I love Athlete Next. He's awesome. Keith, apart from you, who are good coaches to follow for kettlebell training with focus on athletic performance for combat sports? Phil DeRue does combat sports stuff, but I'm not sure about his qualifications. And because I don't know him and I don't watch his stuff, but I know he does that stuff. But here's the thing. I'm not sure if kettlebells are the best thing for combat sports. I'm not a pro in combat sports, but look at the best combat sport athletes. I think they rarely use kettlebells. The kettlebell is good for GPP, right? Building your general physical preparation. I think there's no doubt about it. But I'm always hesitant pointing out that the kettlebell or anything is perfect for a certain sport. There are sport-specific exercises, the SPP exercises, right? For sport-specific performance. But the special physical performance, yes? But you have to be a very knowledgeable coach to understand the biomechanics and the movement patterns of the muscle and everything. If you look at the biomechanist that I talked to, his name was Dr. Michael Yesses. If you have a good understanding, then the exercise, the sports exercise, that the exercise that you are doing with a weight or whatever should then replicate the exercise that you are doing in the sport. And that's not easy to achieve, right? So that's why I'm saying the kettlebell is perfect for combat athletes. Well, it's been touted that way, but is it really? Do we have evidence for this? This is my big question. And yes, you're doing some swings, and then you're building up your general physical preparation, which is awesome. But other things can build your GPP as well, right? So that's why I'm hesitant. I love the kettlebell, but sometimes we have to be, honest and strict. I think Coach Cardi is going to recommend every coach he's had on the Kettle Nights podcast. Of course, the guys that I had on the Kettle Nights podcast, these are monsters. Go check them out. I want to teach my son. All right, you guys having conversations. All right, it's great. Great. Agreed on the AG question. Yep. I run a kettlebell group class after recently qualifying. I mostly do complexes. What modality have you found works best for group training if I join the dojo and get black belt? Could I teach it? Well, like I said, I don't think complexes are cool, but what are we doing? Always the basics and simple stuff, right? So for example, we now had 1 minute of the hand, it's 90 seconds of the hand-to-hand swing, then 90 seconds clean and press, 45 seconds left and right, 90 seconds of the snatch, 45 seconds left and right, and then finally 90 seconds of the goblet squat. There you go. Boom, you got it, right? This is how I would do it. And you want to build it as simple and as basic as possible. Not too many exercises to mess up the brains of your participants. And complex, like let's do 3 rows and then 2 deadlifts and 1 press. I think it's cool, but with our clients, what works best is the simple stuff. Hey, we have now every minute on the minute. We did this with the live class a couple of days ago. Every minute on the minute, 6 goblet squat, 6 push-up for 10 rounds. Then every minute on the minute, 6 press, 3 per side, and 10 bodyweight squats, 10 rounds. Simple stuff. The basics beat everything. What's the difference for you between training and doing workouts? What are your thoughts on that? Thomas. I have no thoughts on that, actually. Because that question just left. Where is it now? Man, I gotta go faster. Here. Well, my thoughts, actually, training is for athletes, right? And workouts is for everyday people. Like you and me, like 99% of people on this planet Earth. And training is for athletes who prepare. They do it different. They train because they want to build their skill. They don't go balls to the walls. They have to build the volume, build the skill, build the capacity, and then they go balls to the walls on competition day. Right? So that's probably the difference, right? Your workouts and positivity are awesome, man. Wish nothing but the best for you. Appreciate it, brother. Perhaps seeing Angie's body mechanics is more helpful to our female athletes. We all move differently despite the gender nonsense. Yes, it says most definitely. Agree on that. Why don't you use parity? Rezo back in the game. The parity pricing on your training? Because I don't. As an ex-CrossFitter, 99% of the CrossFit community doesn't look like the 1% that compete in the games. Well, yeah. I mean, the guys who compete in the games, they're monsters, right? And maybe some PEDs, but you don't want to just put it on that. But it's not about just looking like this. It's understanding the technique. And then it's not, you don't take these guys as a role model when it comes to technique in kettlebells. That's what I'm trying to say. Noah Olsen, guy's a beast, yes, but his kettlebell technique sucks. Yes, he's moving the 32s. Yes, he wants to do the... I got all sorts of excuses why the technique looks like this. And some of them I even understand. You have to go as fast as possible. But I got it. But it's still crappy technique, right? The weightlifting guys used to call the CrossFitters out all the time. And I think now their weightlifting is way better. I'm not a weightlifter, so I can't comment on that. But at the end of the day, I don't care if you're professional or not. If your kettlebell technique looks crappy for the exercise that you're doing, I'm just calling it out. Doesn't mean that these guys are crap, but people always take it the emotional route. But interesting that you mentioned is that, almost nobody looks like these monsters. I mean, I'm assuming that's the case. What is the Kettlebell Dojo, Vadim? I think Jason already explained it, right? Mat strength for sure with the CrossFit athletes. Bad technique overcome by raw strength and endurance. Not a good plan for longevity, though. Oh, that's the perfect answer. That's the perfect answer. It's impressive. Most definitely. I'm impressed. And they're beasts. But it's a good question if that works for longevity. Man, you hit the nail on the head. I suck at the rack position. Can you suggest some exercise to improve the rack 6 spine mobility? Well, yeah, rack holds. Keeping the kettlebell in the rack position and then really getting into it. The long cycle athletes aren't grotesquely jacked, but if you notice their entire frame is rock freaking solid. Yeah. Good point. Thank you, Jason, for helping out, Vadim. Lebe, that was my question. I've been training for a long time. I need more than one round. I can't remember the question. I think I already answered it, right? Keats, one of the best podcasts out there. Appreciate it, man. It's just all about kettlebells, right? Gregory, I like your older style. 3 exercises, 3 to 4 rounds, 2 minutes. Oh, Becky, that's a good point. This is our circuit method. We now call them these training philosophies. It's 3 exercises for 2 minutes each. That's 6 minutes of volume. That's 1 round. Then you rest for 1 minute. You do 4 rounds. Bang. Awesome. Yeah. I struggle with the snatch too. CT. Just sign up for the dojo. Did not know it existed before this. Looking forward to even more great workouts. Alexander, today was the day we released it. I freaking love kettlebells. Is it only me? I tell everybody who listens to this. Yes. It's just, a bunch of kettlebell nerds. Yeah, we could do tournaments, live classes, challenges. You go more stuff. Hey, you know what? Share these ideas in the community, and then I'm gonna make a new category for improvements. Great idea, Hugo. If you're in the chat, Please share that in the community. We're going to make a new category with improvements and ideas. Good point. How would you set up a kettlebell program to improve the athletic performance for striking? Like I already answered this. Not a fan of this. Just, your GPP with kettlebells, bring it up, and then talk to your striking coach, your combat coach. He's going to help you out with this. Please ping the name of that set for dealing with calluses. Wad Welder, W-O-D and then Welder. If you would have, my God, you guys don't stop. I gotta call it quits, guys. I gotta call it a day, and now I'm gonna go super fast, and then I'm done, because then I was live for 2 hours, right? So super fast now. Get ready. Oh, you guys are helping out each other. Love it. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys are helping out each other. This is awesome. There are several exercises I would want to be better at, like mills, get up. Can we post them in a dojo? Should we have a separate class for this? Good idea. Like I said, post it. Is this workout enough to build strength and resistance? 100 kettlebell swings, 100. Oof, that's beastly, Sean. This is going to get you gassed, and it's going to build strength. Kost je dat, Satsi? Ja, je komt dan gedaan. Do Omat. Oh, good idea too. Where you from? Where do you live? That's private. I'm a Kettlebell Plus member. I live in Switzerland. That's not private. I'm a Kettlebell member Plus member as well. Thomas, awesome. Do you even fool with the double front squat? Of course I do. But it's gruesome. Kettlebell King Greg, what do you do for recovery? How long? I just recover. I stop, right? I drop the bell and then I rest. The next day, I take a day off, rest, and then I'll go back, get back at it again. Should you add in plyometric exercises, or are the ballistic nature of kettlebells enough to get a bigger vertical jump? Good question. I think getting better at jumping is that explosive method, the shock method from Yuri Verkhoshansky. Go check that out. We come back with some live workouts. We're thinking about maybe including them in the dojo. But other than that, no. Is that a wild boar? Yes, it's a wild boar. Clean and press it, like it, subscribe button. Yeah. What does the typical class structure at Lebe Stark look like? Warm up. We warm up the full body. We have it on YouTube. So it's just, mobilizing the neck, the shoulders, everything with very simple exercises. Then the workout is approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Then we have an EMOM method. We have an AMSAP method, a circuit method, a Tabata method. These 4 big methods that we use. And the Ascension method, something new that Emilio came up with. And then we build on that. Lots of movements where you are continuously moving with the kettlebell, because I believe that's the secret of kettlebell training. And then cool down is like a couple of minutes and done. Started with a 16 kg and now I want to know if I should get a second or get a bigger one. Go get a bigger one. Have you read the book of 5 rings? No. Mark draws parallels with BJJ and kettlebell and staff and club. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I look at the pro athletes, right? Those who make it, those who are the killers. Do they use that stuff? I don't think they do. And if they use it, maybe they don't. I don't think, here's the thing. I don't think the mace gets you better at jiu-jitsu. Bring up your GPP, it loosen up your shoulder a little bit, awesome. But it's not the reason why you then become a beast in jiu-jitsu, right? Ask Gordon Ryan. He was a monster, right? I'm not a big jiu-jitsu guy. I just heard about the guy. Ask him. What did he do? Jiu-jitsu probably, until right? And then mastering the technique. Same with kettlebells. It's like, hey, what do you do to become better at the kettlebell technique? Well, nothing else, just the snatch. I want to improve my snatch. What should I do? The snatch, right? And then at the sport-specific level, of course there might be exercises to improve your sports game. But what I'm saying is from a biomechanical perspective, these are so complex that normal trainers like I am, I probably can't give you a proper recommendation because sport-specific exercises, that's a specific field where I believe sometimes we use a broad brush and say, well, the swing will get you better at running. Probably yes, because you are improving your connective tissue, yes, but on an athletic top level, you probably got to do different exercises. And here's the thing, when you look at the Russian literature, they didn't use kettlebells at all. At all. Gregor Sobochan, he trains the volleyball team, I think the elite volleyball team of Croatia, I'm not sure. No kettlebells. He doesn't use kettlebells for their training off the beach or off the field. Why? Because he said it doesn't have no role, doesn't play a role. But on YouTube, it's like, yeah, I do. This is for boxing, this is for this. But when you look at the sport-specific stuff, it gets way more complex than that. This was just what I'm trying to say. And look at how sports are usually categorized. You have the first phase. It's the GPP phase. This is where kettlebells are probably interesting because you want to build your fitness up. Then you have the SPP phase. Now you got to build your skill because this is your sport, so you got to master your sport in that skill, right? MMA, you got to master the grappling, striking, depending on what you are. Probably if you are a better striker, you work a little bit more in your striking game. I don't know. And then you have the competitive period. In the competitive period, you now get used to the surroundings of fighting or badminton or whatever. You do these intense gains then because you want to prep yourself for the event. Then you have the competitive period, right? Or then you have the post-competitive period because then you have game day and then comes the post-competitive period, which the Russian literature says that it makes sense to do something completely else, right? No, you're a soccer player, now go play some volleyball or whatever. Can you get Lebe Marquardt on your podcast? Yes, I asked him. I got to ask him again. Also sign up for the dojo. Awesome. I think I'm at the end of the questions. Awesome. All right. I'm used to hardstyle. Do you recommend switching? Hey, well, don't switch. You can just use the sport idea a little bit more, right, for your endurance, cardiovascular endurance training. Because one day I had a guy on who said, well, I do kettlebells, so now I look to do something for my cardio. I'm like, what? What? You use kettlebells and now you need something else for your cardio? Bro, what? I believe the kettlebell shines the most when it comes to strength endurance. All right. I believe you mentioned something, hardstyle being hard on the lower back. Well, I don't have that experience because I'm not a hardstyle practitioner from that regard, but lots of people complain. But other people complain with the sport idea, right? So everybody has their own issues. I don't think that's the reason why people then want to switch. The idea is just, hey, are you happy with your hardstyle technique and you like it, you enjoy it? Keep going. Lightning round. Rick, can you coordinate with anyone in India and provide your branded kettlebells because the shipping cost to India is too much? Rick, no. That doesn't make sense. If it makes sense where it would make sense if I think Pro Kettlebell ships to India. Our kettlebells, no. Danke, yo, unlimited thanks for sharing the hybrid style to the world. Appreciate it, brother. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining. I was going fast. Yes, and I hope you appreciate it. I hope you got some value out of these Q&As. And make sure, friends, please make sure to join the dojo because we have currently, let me see, and then I call it a day. We have 59 members, so the first 100 members can get started for $5 a month. And then it goes up to $9 a month. So make sure to join the dojo. And other than that, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day, a blessed night, a blessed afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I appreciate you for showing up. Again, I want to say thanks for the 100,000 subscribers. This was a really, really, really intense moment, and I truly appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.